Hello everybody and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. Today we have a 1v1 between Teddy and rAndy on Canis River. Now before we get started, we had a couple of comments in a few previous videos asking for some more statistical information. And so I reached out to Volshock, who casted the tournament that we are actually seeing the game from right now. Who is using this new spectator HUD. Now it looks quite useful. There's a bunch of different information here. You can see energy produced, and it was a lot more clearer, hopefully, for you guys than the previous tiny thing in the corner there. So yeah, hopefully you guys like that. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, and which kind of metric here that you feel would be the most important to see out of all of them. I mean, probably army value, I would presume. But yeah, let me know what you think. Right, so as we get into this game now, we're gonna mosey on down to Teddy's base over here, and we see Teddy is Armada and is going bots. No, sorry, vehicles. And rAndy is doing the same. He is also going vehicles in red, but instead he is Cortex. Now, both players, as we zoom back out here, both players have chosen the exact same start position. So no differences there. Now, we've seen this map before a few times, and there's a couple of different start positions people pick. To be honest, not often where rAndy is. It's normally here, here, or here. Don't often see the two positions that both these players have chosen right now, but it does make a fairly decent amount of sense when you think about it. With both the starting positions here, rAndy can push this way and this way to expand and get 6 mexes fairly quickly. And also he'll be able to, you know, support with units quite quickly. And the main thing here, whether these players are going to use it or not, is that there is a geothermal point relatively close by. So, interesting to see how both players decide to go for this. Now, we have seen some people spawn up here when they have played this map. And that's purely because of how defendable this, like, ridgeline is. But saying that, it's only defensible against vehicles. If you go bots, you can walk straight up that hill. So, with both players going bots, they are limiting what movability they have on this map. But, yeah. Moving down then, what do we expect from players? Well, these players are both the top echelon of players here. We are about to see a very good raid take place here, though, from Teddy. Managing to kill off some of rAndy's early mexes with relative ease here. Great micro there to get around the scouts that were there. Manages to get 2 of the 3 metal extractors, but he had already got that one. And we can see, surprisingly, even though rAndy's been consistently under attack here, he's not that far behind when it comes to metal income of Teddy. It's only 1 single metal extractor. And one of those actually just went up again. So he's doing a very good job of this early harass here. Teddy is. But both players just basically getting only scouts out right now. With the first full combat unit starting to come out now from both players. Teddy transitioning over to blitzes and incisors for rAndy here. Does Teddy aware of those scouts? Teddy is not aware of the scouts that are located just here. The blitzes will be able to defend if they do come in. He's going to see that he's seen them now. The blitzes will make very short work of that. rAndy was probably keeping them there just to get an eye on the geothermal point. But they get mopped up very quickly. and so does the scout that came running in here. So this game's quite an eco-heavy game and map because there's just so many metal points. It's surprising we're seeing this map so regularly in a 1v1 when it could very easily be played as a 4v4 map. Now, what we do actually interested in switching over right here is army value. See, there's a substantial difference between army value right now. rAndy does not have much in the way of actual combat units. Starting to see him pump a bit more out now, but we've got 4 blitzes on the way down. rAndy does have 5 incisors nearby, but if the blitzes can get close, they will out damage the incisors. The scout did spot them, so rAndy is moving units to intercept, but might be a little bit too late. Oh, the armed metal extractor does manage to get completed in time, which will definitely help turn the tide of that fight, and that's going to mean that he unfortunately loses out on that trade and basically loses only a single incisor for that fight. So just shown that the armed exploiters there, very good. Another good group of blitzes here though. Oh, the self-destruct on the LLT did an amazing job there, taking out a huge chunk of Teddy's forces. Now, again, if you're not aware, LLTs, when they self-destruct, they have a bigger explosive radius, and rAndy used that to his advantage there. There are a few other units in the game that also have similar styles as that, such as Fiends, the Cortex Tech 2 flamethrower bots. So keep that in mind next time you're using those units yourself. Meanwhile, when we zoom out here and look at the expansion, it's fairly even on both sides. Metal income is fairly the same here. rAndy has a bit of an energy shortage issue right now. Both players actually have a bit of an energy shortage, as we can see kind of in the bottom corner here. Teddy is actually pretty low down. Both players with a significant stockpile of metal right now. Over 1,000 metal saved up in the bank. We are seeing him actually build mines. You don't often see mines getting used in a 1v1, but they'll do a fairly decent job if these incisors tend to push through. And just a bit more probing going on. Now, when we saw this last time, we actually saw, I can't remember who it was now, but I'm pretty sure it was Taku, walk down here with his commander and build a cheeky little factory in the low ground here that's not visible in the radar, because there was a radar like further back. But I don't see that happening this time around. Let's look at the vision for both players right now. So you can see here, this open path along the top is completely out of view for rAndy. Whereas when we look at Teddy here, kind of the same, but at least Teddy has scouts. So he should be able to see any units that come up this way. And it does look like Teddy is going to make a move on that bottom flank. rAndy is aware that there's units down there with scouts, so... But the north flank that I mentioned before, you can see there's a scout going up there now. rAndy is interested as what was there. His mine layer gets destroyed by his own mine. And bit of a stalemate right now. Both players just ecoing up. Actually interesting to see here their energy income. We have a significant lead for Teddy here on energy income by about 150, almost 200, which is a big leap in energy production. You can see there's 2 advanced solars here and a transition over to Tech 2. This is a 9-minute Tech 2 and a 1v1 here. No blitzes have been built at all. No stouts, no Janisses. Just, he's only got what's left on the field. Now, this may be dangerous. No, rAndy actually choosing to back off once he hit the mines. The small amount of mines is enough to just distract him and make him fall back. Teddy here actually deciding to retreat. He's going to probably lose the majority of those blitzes and will have nothing to stop the push if rAndy continues. No player, well, rAndy yet to grab that geo point along the south as well. Blitzes have now pushed through the minefield. We see the Tech 2 has completed and the Tech 2 engineer is out and a first Jaguar is on the field. Don't know how well they're going to do versus the Stouts here, or the Brutes, sorry. These Jaguars would be a lot better versus all of the incisors that came along the bottom here. Unfortunately, these incisors have managed to break through the lines on the south as well. So it's not looking good for Teddy right now. This transition to Tech 2 is costing him. A lot of ground lost. But I don't think rAndy necessarily has the staying power here to do much about that. Unfortunately, these incisors are pushing right through everything, and these expansion construction vehicles will definitely be annihilated by those incisors that are left. But a couple of Jaguars should be able to mop up what's over there. Surprisingly pushing these few Jaguars in against all of those Brutes. Doing a fairly decent job. Good micro here going on from rAndy, managing to move around multiple groups here to try and keep Teddy on his toes. That north group gets mopped up. Another Jaguar coming through here to mop up what's left. But we have seen now that Teddy has lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 metal extractors. And the question is, yep, see, that, well, briefly put him behind quite a bit, 42 to 54. The difference is, though, that Teddy has Tech 2. And a Tech 2 metal extractor, which you'll get very shortly, will make a huge dent in that difference very quickly. The Reclaim is kind of messing up this slider a little bit at the moment. He's desperately trying to chase down all of these Brutes here with the Jaguars, which isn't really panning out very well for him. And surprisingly, no Tech 2 transition from rAndy here, choosing completely to rely on Tech 1 units here. rAndy's comp in a bit of a dangerous position. Unfortunately for him, Teddy was not microing those units whatsoever, and his comm does take damage down to 66% health, but managing to survive. Now this middle section is looking pretty dangerous for Teddy. He needs something a bit more stronger than a bunch of Jags, maybe a couple of Bulls. See, the Jaguars are able to just like get mopped up fairly easy by the sheer quantity of Brutes here. And this Brute push just going along the front is able to knock out a bunch of the expansion that Teddy had. And also, main thing here is rAndy's already here with engineers getting the Reclaim as soon as it appears. So he may be behind, but the Reclaim is key here. Teddy's not really able to secure any of it right now. And he's very, very behind on units. He desperately needs that army value. rAndy has twice the army value right now. That is a huge difference to be behind by. And now we see Teddy actually making his way up and round. And it looks like he might actually be able to catch out this Tech 2 engineer up here. And unfortunately, Teddy not paying attention, maybe about to lose it. Falls back, but I don't think that'll be quick enough. Teddy desperately trying to scramble units up there to defend that, but also holding the front. The Tech 2 bot construction vehicle will go down. The question is, how much of the eco is also going to take a hit here? Very much into the core of Teddy's base. Massive amounts of damage here being done to the wind of Teddy. There are no units left to stop them. The bull's desperately trying to run down, but it's not going to help as we see the energy income here tumbling. rAndy now with twice the amount of energy production as Teddy. And he's still roaming around. Able to go freely around the side of Teddy. This early transition has definitely cost him big, as he had no units to stop that. The advantage of Tech 2 has not paid off. And as we see here, rAndy has now transitioned to Tech 2 himself and has the freedom to just sit back and tech up. Teddy forced just into his base alone. And this is not looking good for Teddy. Definitely on the back foot right now. These bulls about to get squeezed on as they get surrounded from both sides here. Trying to draw some tanks into this freshly laid minefield. Surprisingly manages to escape the bulls. Will we see any transition away from Jaguars? This could be where a single Starlight or something like that could play a big key factor here, as that Alpha will be able to knock out some of this extra unit value that rAndy has. Another push coming in from rAndy though. I don't know how Teddy can really pull this one back at this point. He is so far behind. And his one advantage he had was that he was ahead in metal, but that's completely gone now. And his economy is in ruin. Half the metal income of rAndy here. And rAndy just has so much like fortification and economy built up and units built up and everything that Teddy just can't find a hole. So many more Tigers there now. Very well done though. Both players end up not actually losing a unit each, pulling out just at the right time before those units died. And the damage inflicted there was definitely on Teddy's favor. But if we look at Teddy here, look how much metal he's wasting right now. His factory is completely stopped building. I have a very strong feeling this was a massive mistake. He didn't realize it stopped. That's a lot of wasted metal there. I don't think we can see it in this section at all, but when we look at metal produced here, this is both teams' overall metal. There's a big jump difference here between Teddy and rAndy. Mines are not going to do much against basic mines against Tech 2 tanks. And poor Teddy not been able to really push out much after this. Select army value again, humongous difference between the two. 4k at least army value difference between the two. Where is Teddy's comm? Too far away to make a difference in this fight. Fortunately, these bulls from the previous fight didn't get a chance to rearm or repair before moving on. Tech 2 defense is being built by Teddy, desperately trying to hold on to this Geo here. It's the only thing powering his economy right now, as he was really short on economy, energy production. Using his commander there to save the day. But he has forfeited basically the rest of the entire map here. This one ball manages to get round. Will probably get that Geo before it dies. But is that really going to make too big of a difference? Surprisingly, yes. You can see rAndy now really struggling for energy. If you look at energy income there, it's a huge difference. And also at the same time as he's trying to build some advanced solars, which are obviously quite energy hungry, but so many angles that Teddy needs to defend from after losing that high ground, and this is just not looking good for him. He's desperately trying to get more and more units out to try and stem the tide, but he's just not able to make a big enough impact on these forces to really make a difference here. There are a lot of wrecks on the field as well. This could potentially be a good time to maybe get a bot lab up. Get some res bots on the go. He's got the energy for it, right? Let's get some of this resurrected. Turn that tide of the army value back onto your side. You've got the spare energy. It's going to cost you metal, obviously, to get the factory up and running to begin with, but could turn the tide in his favor. We're looking like an extra, well, substantial amount of wrecked tanks laying around here. But in choosing instead to go for Reclaim here, just to try and get more units out of his factory. But Teddy needs a big play here to be able to come back from it. He is desperately behind on metal. Well, you say that. Oh, okay, there you go. Now it's reacting. He's only close behind because of Reclaim. Otherwise, when we look at actual metal produced here, he is substantially behind. What would you do at this point? Why don't you let me know in the comments what you think Teddy should be doing here to try and save his butt. Oof. Mine's just being a hindrance, if anything. We do see actual transition over to some ticks here. Maybe just get some vision out, soak up some damage. And also air. That is surprising. Are we going to see some bombers? Oh. Right, now this is a big, big thing here. Teddy has just reclaimed his Tech 2 factory. Now this is Teddy's Hail Mary play. And apparently his Hail Mary play is to build a lot of ticks. No, Tech 2 air. He's going to go for a comm snipe. Okay. So Teddy has basically decided he has lost ground. He is not going to be able to win this on the ground. So he is going for a Hail Mary play to try and win this. And the only way he can do this is if none of this air is spotted until it's time to go. He needs to keep the enemy back. Now, if we quickly select rAndy here. Now, yeah, it just looks like there's a bunch of units. Doesn't necessarily know what they are. Now he knows they're ticks. Atomic Bomber is just finishing up. And it's good to go. Now, if I remember correctly, it's going to need 2 passes in order to take out the commander. Now, rAndy's commander is a bit exposed. He sees the air coming. One hit. rAndy with 1% health. And Teddy turns it around with the comms bomb. Great play by Teddy. Manages to make a decision that absolutely wins him the game. Well, we thought it was all over, but Teddy managed to claw victory from defeat. And well played, both players. That was a move that you definitely do not see very often. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.